Hi, I'm Melissa Turner with bmagazine.org, and I am honored to be joined with Ghada Naguib, a human rights activist from Egypt. And we're being translated by Rasha through Egyptians Abroad for Democracy. And we really appreciate her joining us and helping make this interview possible today. Ghada, thank you for being with us today and sharing your story.
شكرا مليسا، أنا اللي مبسوطة والشرف ليا إن أنا معاكي النهاردة.
The honor is totally mine.
Thank you. So tell us, you grew up and lived a good share of your life in Egypt, is that right?
غادة أنت اتولدتي ونشأتي يعني في مصر، ده صحيح؟ Yes.
اتولدت في مصر ويعني ما خرجتش من مصر إلا في 2015 في الهجرة الإجبارية دي.
She was born and raised and lived all her life in Egypt. She only left Egypt in 2015. She was forcibly she was forced to go out. Yeah.
Yes. And so the revolution came, and then followed by that, the military coup. And you, like many other human rights activists, got targeted by the Egyptian military regime. Tell us a little bit about how that unfolded. What happened to you?
الثورة حصلت وبعدها الانقلاب، ومن ساعتها وانتي كنتي ملاحقة من النظام المصري. احكي لنا بالظبط ايه اللي حصل.
الحقيقة أنا واحدة من الملايين اللي شاركوا في ثورة يناير، وطبعا لما حصل الانقلاب العسكري زي كل شركاء الثورة أو كل حالمين بالثورة إنها تتحقق وتحكم، نزلت ضد الانقلاب العسكري، وده اتسبب في ملاحقات أمنية يعني، وعدة اعتقالات يعني طالتني من 2013 لحد ما قدرت أخرج من مصر في ديسمبر 2015.
She's saying that she's one of the millions who went down the streets during the revolution of 2011, and when the military coup happened, she also went down against it. That's why the regime is being targeting her as an opposer, and she kept doing this until she left the country in December 2015.
Were you ever arrested or imprisoned or anything like that, or were you able to make it out before that happened?
هل تم اعتقالك قبل كده أو احتجزتي وازاي حصل كده؟
اعتقالي أنا طبعا تم اعتقالي 3 مرات تقريبا. أول مرة كانت بعد الانقلاب العسكري، يعني بعد ما اتباحت رابعة ب20 يوم، كانت ذكرى مسبيرو، تم اعتقالي واقتيادي لاسم أظن اسم عابدين، لا اسم الدرب الأحمر، اسم الدرب الأحمر، وقضيت هناك ليلتين يعني. بعد كده تعرضت نيابة وتم إخلاء سبيل الكفالة.
She was imprisoned 3 times, all of them after the military coup. So she stayed, that was the first time was 20 days after Rabaa massacre. She was, it was like an anniversary for the massacre of Maspero. She was kept in a police station in a neighborhood called El Darb Al Ahmar in Cairo, and she stayed there for 2 days.
So, as a woman and a human rights activist that was imprisoned by the Egyptian military regime, tell us what it was like. Tell us what the conditions were like, if you can.
بما إنك ناشطة حقوقية، اشرحي لنا في فترة احتجازك كانت المعاملة إزاي معاكي؟
لا طبعا الزنزانة كانت ضيقة جدا، كنا 8 يعني، كان في 7، أنا دخلت لقيت 7 سيدات في جوه الزنزانة، وأنا بقيت رقم 8 علشان خاطر ننام. كنا بننام خلف خلاف يعني، عارفة راس دي مكان جنب رجلي دي، وبتنامي على جنب وما تعرفيش تتقلبي. المكان ضيق جدا، انك انت كده يعني نايمين خلف خلاف وعلى الجنب، ما ينفعش ما تعرفيش تتقلبي. زائد ان التواليت ما فيش اي حاجز، يعني مش باب، ما فيش باب، ما فيش اي حاجه مع المكان اللي انت بتنامي فيه، هم حاجه واحده يعني. وعاملين حاله كده، ممكن حاله يعني عارفه للضغط النفسي، ان تفضل في ميه طول الليل والنهار عماله بتنقط في التواليت يعني. مفيش شبابيك، مفيش خروج. طبعا يعني مكان احتجاز غير ادمي.
Okay. So, first of all, the cell was so small. It contained 7 women before she came in, so she was number 8 in the cell. To be able to sleep in this small area, all the 8 women used to make like a certain way that one person's head would be right next to the other's foot. There will be vice versa. Yeah, and then also they had to be on their side, sleeping on their side, because there isn't enough space for all of them to sleep on their back. And of course, the disaster was the toilet, because the toilet was within the cell, but it had no door, so it's wide open. Especially that there's always like a water leakage, like a water dropping all night that you can hear. She believes that this is something like psychological that they're doing. Yeah. And then also she never went out of the cell for the 2 days.
Thank you for sharing about that. I know it's difficult to bring up memories like that, but I wanted people to hear it for themselves from you, someone who has experienced it firsthand.
شكرا يا غادة انك شاركتينا. انا عارفة انها حاجة يعني مؤلمة، لكن كان لازم الناس تعرفها.
Here in the United States, we really don't understand how good we have it. You have basically experienced these horrific conditions of imprisonment simply for speaking up, for peacefully protesting, something that every citizen should have a right to do.
هنا في أمريكا مش بنقدر نتخيل إن ممكن حد يتعرض للانتهاكات دي لمجرد إنه بس بيقول رأيه، أو لمجرد إنه يكتب حاجة على السوشيال ميديا اعتراضا على موقف، وإنه الانتهاكات اللي بتحصل في السجون دي شيء مؤلم جدا، ومش ممكن نتخيل إنها ممكن تكون بتحصل في بلد تاني.
لا، ده بيحصل وبيحصل أكتر من كده. لك أن تتخيلي يا ميليسا، مثلا أنا زوجي فنان، يعني فنان معروف، يعني ممثل، شخصية عامة، و يعني اتعمل فيا حاجات كتير انا ممكن اقعد احكي لك، بس ما عندناش وقت طبعا، مش عايزه اخد من وقتك كتير. فتخيلي، وهو انا زوجة فنان ويعني شخصية عامة، واتعمل فيا حتى انهم وصلوا لاسقاط الجنسية. امال الناس اللي هي مجهولة ومحدش يعرف اساميها، احنا عندنا اكتر من 60,000 معتقل في السجون المصرية، بيعانوا معاناة شديدة جدا من الإهمال الطبي ومن التعذيب ومن الحبس الانفرادي، منع التريض، منع الزيارات، منع مقابلة المحاميين. يعني حجم الانتهاكات في مصر ضد حرية التعبير وضد حقوق الإنسان بشكل عام غير مسبوقة.
So Ghada saying is what she went through is very little compared to other cases that she had heard of. She says that she's a known activist. Her husband is a very well known actor in Egypt.
Yeah.
Although what she faced was a little compared to others who were tortured badly, and everything is documented, of course. They were deprived from visits from their families, from even seeing their lawyers. They were physically tortured. So what she faced was really little, but what she really faced was different because she was deprived from her citizenship, which is
Yes.
really, yeah, which is really weird. And like that, they went to the extreme, you know, when they couldn't torture her. Or, although I know she didn't say this, but غادة انت عندك كم واحد من عيلتك مقبوض عليه؟
طبعا
Yeah.
ست افراد من اسره جوزي واخويا، 7 افراد.
Okay. Although they tried to threaten her with her family and her extended family, so they imprisoned her brother and 6 from her husband's family. But this didn't work as well, so they decided to deprive her from her nationality.
Yes, which is terrible. This is her home. She spoke out for the democracy and the human rights in her country. And then thankfully, she and her husband and children were able to flee to Turkey. But now she can't go back ever to Egypt again. And they've taken away her citizenship from her. I mean, it's just incredible. Now, Amnesty International has come out with a campaign demanding that her citizenship be given back. Is that right?
امنستي انترناشونال طلبت عملت دعوة بتطلب ان جنسيتك ترجع لك تاني، صح؟
صح حقيقي.
تمام.
What's the status of that case? Have they lodged a legal case over it, or it's more of a human rights statement that they're trying to make?
هي بس بتسأل ايه التطورات في الشكوى دي، هل وصلت انها تكون زي قضية ولا بس مجرد يعني تقرير صحفي؟
لا الحقيقه لا، طبعا الامنستي بتدي توصيات كتير، بس انت عارفه يعني المنظمات الحقوقيه ما عندهاش قوه يعني لتنفيذ توصياتها ديت. انا قدمت طعن امام مجلس الدوله في مصر، وللاسف طبعا تم احالتها للمحكمه الدستوريه، وده حاجه اظن ان هي زي الثقب الاسود كده عشان يمطلوا، لان مثلا مذكره الدوله او الحكومه ضد الطعن اللي انا مقدماه عشان يثبتوا ان انا مستحق عليا اسقاط الجنسيه، قالوا اني انا بستقطب ضباط الجيش وبغير عقيدتهم وبشوه سمعه مصر امام البرلمان الاوروبي والكونجرس الامريكي، واني انا بسيء لمصر وبهدد الامن القومي لمصر. يعني ده كان رد الحكومه المصريه على الطعن بتاعي.
Okay. So actually, she's saying that Amnesty International is only capable of giving recommendations. They are not allowed to file cases or go to trials. But Ghada was able to buy her lawyer to file a case, and it was like an opposition. You know, when you oppose a decision from the government. So it's like a complaint that she's not. This is illegal for the government to deprive her from her nationality, and it went up to the Supreme Court. But she's saying that the Supreme Court in Egypt is like a black hole. Anything that goes out there never comes up. Also, she's saying that from the government's defending themselves why they're doing this to her, they're claiming that she's trying to go to defame the governments and the regime in front of the Congress, the American Congress, and the European parliaments. She's trying to give false information, and also she's trying to change some army officers' beliefs and make them hate their country. So this is a treason that by this way she deserves to be deprived from her nationality. I know it's crazy. I don't know how to translate this. I don't know.
You know, Ghada and countless thousands of others love their country so much, and that's why they're speaking up. And here the Egyptian military regime is imprisoning, torturing, forced disappearances, you name it. And We were talking earlier before we got started on our interview about this moment in history that we have right now this fall. Last year when it was announced that the UN COP27 would be held in Egypt, we were like, what? How can this be? But now it's a moment for us to raise awareness for the human rights issues in Egypt like never before, because all of the world's eyes are on Egypt. And I just want to know what Ghada thinks of that. And does she see this as an opportunity, or, will things just kind of quiet down afterwards and continue on the same?
طيب غادة، هي بتقول احنا عارفين كل الانتهاكات اللي بيعملها النظام العسكري في مصر من تعذيب واخفاء قسري وحبس لسجناء الرأي وغلق عمل المجتمع المدني والحاجات دي. وتفاجئنا جدا لما اكتشفنا انه قرروا انه مصر تستضيف مؤتمر المناخ السنه دي، لما هو معروف عن مصر في تاريخ الانتهاكات حقوق الانسان. فانت ايه رايك في انه ده هيحصل دلوقتي؟ هل انت شايفه انه ده فرصه انه الاعين كلها موجهه ناحيه مصر في الوقت ده، فالناس هتشوف الانتهاكات دي، ولا شايفه الوضع ده ازاي؟
طبعا كلنا اتفاجئنا والله ميليسا، يعني ان رغم كل الانتهاكات اللي بيقوم بيها النظام المصري، قتل وتصفيات واعتقالات زي ما انت تفضلتي وقلتي، انما المجتمع الدولي او دول الغرب والامم المتحده مصرين لغايه دلوقتي ان هم يعني يدعموه ويحافظوا على حكمه وعلى بقائه. وانا شايفه ان منحه ميزه زي دي اللي هي اقامه مؤتمر المناخ في مصر، دي كانها قبلة حياه لي، يعني دعم كبير جدا ليه. يعني رغم اني عشان بس اخر جمله، يعني رغم ان يعني الراجل دوت لسه السنتين اللي فاتوا كان عمال يقطع الشجر مصر كلها، يعني السيسي كان بيقطع الشجر، فيعني هو اخر حد ممكن يستقبل قمه المناخ. بس بما انها حصلت، اتمنى من المجتمع الدولي والدول الغرب والدول اللي هتشارك في المؤتمر ده ان هم على الاقل يعني اديتوا له الدعم دوت، على الاقل يبقى قصاده مقابل، وهو خروج كافه المعتقلين، رفع الظلم بعد 9 سنين من الاعتقال التعسفي. ناس كتير ماتت في السجون. نتمنى ان احنا نحافظ على اللي متبقي، وبما انهم ادوا له الدعم ده يخرجوا المعتقلين على الاقل.
So Ghada is saying that she was surprised as you guys exactly the same way when they chose Egypt to host that conference, but she's hoping that although all the West and even the United Nations and all the West governments, they know exactly how this regime violates all human rights, and they know his crimes. But although they're still supporting him, they're still giving him they know the regime's crimes, but still they're still on good relationship with him, and by letting him host, or letting Egypt under his regime hosting this the climate conference, actually this is like giving him the kiss for life, like, you know. So yeah, this is what she thinks, that why, you know, that this is in this conference everybody needs to express their opinions, and you know that this is deprived in Egypt. You cannot do this. So how come the West governments give this opportunity to the regime, while they know that he's already violating all human rights, and he's not even giving access to human civil rights organizations to work under in Egypt.
Yeah, very disappointing.
Sorry, last thing, she's hoping that for him to be able to go through and host this the climate conference. She's hoping that at least he would free the detainees, especially the
Yes.
political detainees, and especially those who were just imprisoned for expressing their opinions.
Yes, absolutely. So, as we're coming up to the UN COP27 and beyond, what can we do to help human rights activists like you to make this case?
هم يقدروا يعملوا إيه عشان يساعدوا النشطاء الحقوقيين والنشطاء السياسيين زي حالتك يا غادة في خلال المؤتمر المناخ؟
يعني طبعا بالنسبه لي انا حاله واحده وسط حالات كتير موجوده بره، بس ربما انا يعني كسيده بيتم التنكيل بيا بشكل غير مسبوق كسيده يعني. انا ما اظنش اني يكون ليا طلب محدد يخصني. انا طلبي دائما يعني هو الافراج عن المعتقلين، رفع الظلم عنهم. انا شخصيا بعاني بشكل شخصي ان ليا 7 معتقلين، بتمنى ليهم الحريه، وبتمنى لكل المعتقلين ان هم يعني يخرجوا ويترفع عنهم الظلم ده. وبتمنى من المجتمع الدولي يعني الحاله دي كلها انها تنتهي، حاله الاستبداد في مصر انها تنتهي. وقتها هتتحل مشكله كل، يعني هتتحل مشكلتي وهتتحل مشكله عشرات بل مئات الحقوقيين اللي موجودين في الخارج واللي بيتم ملاحقتهم والتنكيل بيهم. لما بس المجتمع الدولي او الغرب يرفع ايده عن السيسي، يتوقفوا عن دعمه، بس كلنا مشاكلنا هتتحل اكيد.
لا، هي تقصد هم كمنظم يعني كصحفيين هيحضروا المؤتمر يقدروا يعني ايه اللي ممكن يقدروا يعملوه او انت متوقعه ان هم ممكن يعملوه علشان مش بس حالتك كمان حالات الناس التانية؟
طبعا يعني ده يعني انا منتظره الايام بتاعه المؤتمر المناخ، ومنتظره كتير جدا من النشطاء اللي هيحضروا في اليوم دوت. اظن ان في اولويات دائما. انا عارفه ان المناخ طبعا حاجه مهمه جدا، ودي لينا وللاجيال اللي جايه، والقضاء على التلوث وحمايه البيئه، انا فاهمه جدا. بس الحقيقه ان في ناس فعلا بتموت بقالها 9 سنين ومحدش يعني بيسأل ومحدش مهتم. في ناس يعني حياتها اتفنت في السجون، في ناس تم تصفيتها قتلها كده وهي متكلبشه رغم ان هم قيد الاعتقال. في ناس تم اخفائهم قسري من يعني بقالهم 9 سنين ما نعرفش عنهم حاجه، اسرهم ما تعرفش هم عايشين ميتين. في مئات بل آلاف من المهجرين قسريا في الخارج. يعني أظن إن في تركيا بس هنا في 20,000 واحد من المصريين اللي اضطروا يخرجوا بسبب انتهاكات السيسي. طبعا أنا بتمنى
خليني اترجم
طيب هقفلها خلاص. أنا بتمنى أن تكون أولوياتهم إني رفع يافطات المناداة برفع الظلم عن المعتقلين، الحرية، إطلاق حرية التعبير، التوقف عن ملاحقة النشطاء في الداخل وفي الخارج، محاسبة المسؤولين عن قتل. في ناس ماتت، في أرواح ماتت، يعني زي في سينا، في الحدود الليبية المصرية اللي هي ما عرف بالعملية السري. أتمنى إن هم يعني أنا بنتظر منهم ده، إن دي تكون أحد أولوياتهم في مطالبة في فترة مؤتمر المناخ. طلبوا النظام والمجتمع الدولي ب يعني إن توقف الاستبداد والديكتاتورية في مصر، إنهائه، يعني إنهاء الحالة.
Okay. So she's saying that what she's going through is a lot, especially that they're using her being a woman, and they're trying to defame her reputation, and they're trying to make a pressure on her for her being a woman. But also, she doesn't have a personal request from the organizations that will attend the conference, but she wants an overall request from all those people who will have voice over there to have the first priority, which will be freeing the prisoners and asking the West countries and the West governments to stop supporting this regime, because by supporting him, he will keep doing the same thing. And also, she's saying that what she's been through is little compared to others who are still now in prison for 9 years, and some of them are in solidarity cells for 9 years, and some of them also were forcibly disappeared for also 9 years that we don't know where they are. She's saying that 20,000 Egyptians are living in Turkey right now. They are forcibly immigrants. They didn't choose to leave their country. They were forced. She's saying only those people who are in Turkey because she lives in Turkey. She's asking those activists who will attend the COP27 to be able to raise their voice and ask, first of all, to free all those more than 60,000 prisoners in the Egyptian prisons, and also ask the government to to actually, because we know that some crimes happened and they need to be accountable for, and they need to see trials because of what happened in Sinai and what happened in the west borders near Libya, called Operation Sirli. So those things need to be raised out and needs to be on top of your demands and things.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ghada. Thank you so much for the important work you're doing, and we support you. And we're going to work diligently on asking for the political prisoners to be released.
بندعمك يا غادة، وبنشكرك على الحاجات اللي انت بتعمليها، واحنا فعلا هنتكلم عن الافراج عن المعتقلين والسجناء هناك. ده هيكون المطلب الاول.
متشكرة جدا يا ميليسي، وشكرا على اللقاء ده، وانا متأكدة ان انتوا هتعملوا ده. يعني انا لما حتى بطلب، بس انا قبليها انا متأكدة ان هو ده هيكون هدفكم الاساسي او احد اهدافكم الاساسية خلال مؤتمر مناخ. شكرا لكم جميعا.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And she knows that since you called her, she knew that you were going to do this. This will be your first priority, but she needed to make this enlightened.
Thank you. Rasha, thank you for translating for us today. And thank you, Ghada. Blessings to both of you, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa. شكرا يا رشروش، تعبناك.
العفو. السلام عليكم.
مع السلامة.